Hi, fourth graders. Happy Friday. We are going to start on our President Hoodie art project, social studies project today. Yesterday, if you were here, you filled out the purple sheet like this from the website that I gave you in your Seesaw inbox. Now, if you were not here yesterday, you need to stop at this point. You need to go back to your Seesaw inbox, and it's a president biography link that is there. Ask another classmate. They will direct you onto the link that you need to go, and you need to fill in these questions right here on this purple sheet before you go any further. So if you were not here yesterday, you're going to pause it at this time. If you were here yesterday, you can just continue on with this video. So the first thing that you are going to do is you are going to detach this purple page from your president sweatshirt picture. And I would just set those right next to each other on your desk because it's going to be very, very easy to work right next to one another. So yesterday I had you divide the sweatshirt into some different parts. Remember, we put those lines up going on the president's hooded sweatshirt. And today, every single section is going to have something different. When we do each section, you are going to do it in pencil first. Then you are going to go over with a Sharpie. I prefer using a thick Sharpie for my words and stuff like that. If you have bigger handwriting and you would prefer a thinner Sharpie, that is your choice. But whatever you pick, please pick the same thing for the entire sweatshirt. Please do not switch between a regular and an ultrafine Sharpie. Whatever one you pick is the one you have to stay with. So the first thing that you are going to do on your sweatshirt is you are going to choose a Zentangle pattern for a few of the parts. So I'm going to show you mine right here. I have George Washington. The parts that get Zentangle patterns are the bottom of the sleeve, so right there and right there, the bottom part of the sweatshirt, which is right here, and then right around the hoodie strings, right by the neck. And I want you to use the same Zentangle pattern on all of those parts. So picking one pattern and using them the same. We talked about this earlier in the week, how we need to challenge ourselves in the Zentangle patterns we choose. You don't have a lot of them to do, so I am asking you to pick something more difficult than just polka dots, than just your vertical or your horizontal lines. I do want you to challenge yourself. Once again, do it with pencil first, and then come back and use your Sharpie. This is one exception. If you need to use a fine point Sharpie on this, after you pencil it in, you may do so. But at this time, you are going to pause your video. You are going to draw in your Zentangle pattern on those parts that I showed you with a pencil, going over it with a Sharpie. I'm going to put this up close so you can see what parts you are doing at this time. So you can go ahead and you can pause your video. All right, now that we have that part done, we are going to start on the actual sleeves of your president's hoodie. So the first sleeve that we are going to start on is this sleeve right here. And so if you look at the name of your president, it is the sleeve that is on the same side as the name of your president. So here's George Washington, and here is the sleeve we are going to work on. On this sleeve, you are going to put the nickname of your president. That should be number 6 on this sheet right here. So you're going to look for number 6 on that sheet, and you are going to write in with pencil first what the nickname of your president is. Pay attention to capital letters. I also want this to be centered. So for instance, if your nickname is short, I want it to be in the middle of the sleeve. Okay, these are going to be hanging in the hallway. So when people walk by, I cannot have itty bitty font. I want the font big enough that when they walk by, they can see it. Once again, you're going to use a pencil first, your best fourth grade handwriting, please, and then you're going to follow it up with whatever Sharpie you choose. You can pause your video at this time, and you can write in the nickname of your president on this sleeve. Now that we have that sleeve done, we're going to go to the opposite side and we are going to do the other sleeve. So this is the sleeve under the number. So each of you have a number in the corner. We talked about what that number meant yesterday. And so you are going to be writing the fun fact about your president on this sleeve. Once again, you want to use a size of handwriting that is going to fill it up. You cannot go past it because then it's going to get into other areas. So you might want to write light on this one, especially if you have a lot to write. You also want to make sure that it is centered as much as possible. So on this sleeve, under the number 1, you are going to be writing your fun fact about your president. You can pause the video, write it in pencil first, and then go over it with your Sharpie. Now that we have both sleeves done, we're going to focus on the center of the sweatshirt. So the center of the sweatshirt is right here. You're going to put 2 different things in the center of that sweatshirt. So the first thing that you're going to put are the years that that person was president. So on your purple sheet, that's number 3. So my president was from 1789 to 1797. So that's going to go there. And then right below it is going to be number 4, which is your political party. George Washington, my president, was a member of the Federalist Party. So once again, you are going to put the years that that person served as president, and then underneath of it, you are going to put their political party that they belong to. Put it in pencil first, and then you may go over it with Sharpie. You may pause the video to do this step. Now we are going to be working on the lower half of the sweatshirt, the pockets, the lower part. So the first pocket we are going to do is going to be on the side that is closest to the nickname. So the side that has your president's name, that's the pocket we are going to work on. On this pocket, you are going to put the age your president was when he was inaugurated as president, meaning how old was he when he became president? That's question number 5 on your purple sheet, in case you're wondering. And I just don't want the number. I want you to write 57 or however many years it is, 43, 72, whatever their age was, years old. I want years to go under it, and I want old to go there. Once again, you may do it in pencil, followed by Sharpie. You may pause your video. All right, the next one is the big center pocket. Now, this is what president were they? What was their order? And this number up here is the same number you will put here. I want this to be a large number. I want it to fill this up. Okay, so you need to make sure it is centered. Same number. So if this says 17, this needs to say 17. If this says 42, that needs to say 42. So go ahead, pencil in your number right here on the center, followed by Sharpie. You may pause the video. Finally, what we are going to do is we are going to put in our vice president's name. So who was the vice president of this president when they were in office? And you can find the vice president on number 2 on your purple sheet. The vice president is going to go on the only space left, which is right here on this pocket. This is the pocket that is closest to the number. So this is the pocket. And you're going to put their first name, and their last name is going to be underneath of that. You may pause the video at this time, and you may complete that step. All right, the last step is the fun step. We get to color our sweatshirt. We get to color our president, their face, their hair, and we get to add some little bit of life to our picture. So I do have some requirements that I want to talk about first. The first thing is when you are coloring the president's face and their facial hair. If you go back to the link that I gave you on Thursday, you can click on your president and you can find a picture of what they look like. You need to match their skin as best as possible, as well as their hair color. I did pull out my skin color crayons and colored pencils that you may use. Those are at the front of the classroom, so you may grab those and use those. If you cannot see what color their hair is, because sometimes the presidential portraits, their pictures were black and white, you can go up and you can ask the substitute to help you find their picture in one of the books that is at the front of my classroom. Those do not get taken back to your desk. You need to look at what color that is quick, and then you can go back and you can color it in. So George Washington had a apricot colored skin, and he had gray hair. Same thing, his eyebrows are going to be the same color as his hair. I do want to mention something. I do not want you to color in the eyeballs. Don't color them green, blue, whatever. Just color straight over it with the same color that is in their skin tone. You may pause the video and you may color their skin and their hair color at this time. All right, so for the last part, you are going to pick 4 different bright crayons or colored pencils for this. I need them to be bright colors. You can see here the order that I want you to follow. So whatever you did on a Zentangle, the cuffs, the bottom of the sweatshirt, and the top by the neck are all going to be one color. I chose teal for mine. You may pause the video at this time and choose which color you are going to color the bottom part of your sweatshirt. The next color that you are going to choose are going to be your sleeves and going to be the center pocket. Whatever color you choose, please color lightly. You want to be able to see the print. Also, we are not cutting this out, so you need to stay in the lines, and you also need to follow the 4 rules of coloring in one direction, making sure you're not pressing too hard or too light, making sure there are no white spaces. So go ahead, color both sleeves and the center a color of your choice, but these 3 items need to be the same color. You may pause the video. The next part you're going to do are the 2 pockets. You may pick another color and do the 2 pockets right here, the same color. You may pause the video at this time. And finally, this big centerpiece is going to be your last color of your choice. You may pause the video at this time. So now that your president picture is complete, you may take this up to the substitute. You do not need this page. You do not need this page anymore. You can throw this away. The only thing that gets turned back into the substitute is your completed portrait of your president. When you are done, you are going to silently read at your desk. If you have any questions, please make sure to raise your hand and the substitute will help you the best that he or she can. Thank you for working hard today. I will see you on Monday, and I'm excited to see your president portraits of your sweatshirts.